Okay, so we're looking at making a synth-based instrument using Synthmaker. First we're going to need a MIDI in. So by typing in the drop down box up there, I'm going to use a PC keyboard to input the MIDI data. We're going to need a direct sounds out, which sends mono MIDI data to the sound card on your PC. We're then going to need a module. And we'll be moving inside this module to create the rest of the synth. Inside the module we're going to need one module input, and two module outputs to create a stereo signal. Next we need to go back to the top of the schematic and link up the MIDI in to the input of the module and the outputs, stereo outputs of the module, to the DS out. Then move back in to the module. Now in order to create a signal, a sound signal, we're going to need a MIDI to poly. I'm going to connect that up to the input. This changes the MIDI values into polyphonic signals. Okay, now I can actually start to make the oscillators which will provide the sound wave. So it's good to start off using a detuner, which gives us the ability to change the octaves of the sound, and we'll hook them up to the input of the MIDI to poly, the output, sorry. Next we're going to get two oscillators. This is so we can have two going on at the same time, and we'll link the detuners to the frequency section, the frequency inputs of these. See, there's drop down boxes so you can change the sort of wave. Start off just by doing simple sine waves. It's useful to then add amplitude knobs to the oscillators so we can change the volume individually of them both. The next step is usually to include a filter, so you can change the cutoff, the resolution and the tracking using low pass, high pass, band reject and peaking. So we'll hook the amplitude knobs to the input and filter. Now we're going to link the pitch section of the filter to the pitch section of the MIDI to poly. And then we're going to use an ADSR and link that to the cutoff of the filter so we can add attack, decay, sustain and release, which changes the cutoff. So if you want a large attack, just change the attack mode, large sustain, and so forth. Now we'll add another ADSR, but to the output of everything we've done so far, so this will affect the sound wave that comes out. The next step is to get a combiner which changes the poly signal into a single mono channel. Then we can start looking at effects. So if we go into the audio section, let's see what we've got. We can use can add an echo delay, and we'll just use that for now. But there's more on here. There's chorus, flanger, reverbs, and so forth. And to finish off the inner workings of the synth, we're going to acquire a stereo amplitude knob to change the overall volume. And next we get a stereo clip, which takes the input and makes sure that no clipping occurs. And then we can connect the stereo clip to the outputs of the synth. The next step is to use a preset manager, which allows us to create different presets that we can skip through and different sounds that we've made. We just drag that into the schematic. By now, if you should be able to press the buttons on your keyboard to actually create the sound we've been designing. You can go through different sine waves to sawtooth waves, square waves, and noise. And there you have your basic synth.